The GST Council, in its overhaul of the indirect tax regime, has exempted life and health insurance policies from the levy. At present, these policies attract 18% GST.
Reduction of GST from 12 to 5% on renewable energy devices, parts for their manufacture, such as biogas plant, windmills, wind-operated electricity generator, waste-to-energy plants, devices, PV cells, whether or not assembled in modules or made up in panel, solar cookers, solar water heaters and systems, and so on.
The new goods and services structure, which will kick in from September 22nd, will have only 5% and 18% slabs, with a special rate of 40% for the so-called sin goods. The change has left several policyholders wondering if exemption on insurance premiums will apply if the premium due date falls before September 22nd, but the payment is made later during the grace period. Insurance companies generally allow 15 to 30 days for premium payment after the renewal date. According to Himang Singla, partner, SBHS and AMP Associates, the answer lies in Section 14 of the GST law, which deals with cases where there is a change in the rate of tax for supply of services. If the renewal due date is before September 22nd and the insurer has already issued the invoice, the supply is deemed to have happened before the exemption kicks in. So even if you pay later during the grace period, GST will still apply, Singla said. If the insurer chooses not to issue the invoice immediately on the due date and instead raises it only after September 22nd, then invoice and payment fall in the post-exemption period. In such cases, the premium can qualify for GST exemption. The opinion, however, differs across the industry, as there is no clarity yet. As per Policy Bazaar's Siddharth Singhal, if the insurance policy renewal is due before September 22nd, policyholders can technically avail the GST exemption by paying the premium during the grace period, since the effective date of premium payment is what matters for taxation. This approach comes with a significant risk. The grace period only protects you from a policy lapse, but it does not provide active coverage for claims during the period. In other words, if a claim arises while the policy is in the grace period, it will not be admissible. Mr. Singhal added, so while one might save on GST by delaying the payment, the downside is the risk of being without valid cover for those days. For this reason, it is not advisable to wait for the grace period, merely to take advantage of the tax exemption. The priority should always be to ensure uninterrupted coverage, rather than trying to time the premium payment. Delaying renewal to save GST is not advisable. During the grace period, your policy is in a lapsed state and you remain uninsured, and any claims arising during the period will not be honored. The risk of being without cover outweighs the benefit of reduced GST. Another question in the mind of individuals: will life and health insurance premiums become cheaper? HSBC's analysis suggests the GST waiver could lower health insurance premiums by about 15%, but the government may see a revenue loss of around $1.02 minus 1.4 billion annually. Insurance companies have responded positively to the council's decision. Sameer Shah, Executive Director and CFO of HDFC ERGO General Insurance Company Limited, says, the GST Council decision to exempt individual health insurance from GST is a welcome development. From a consumer standpoint, the immediate benefit is that it directly translates to enhanced affordability. By reducing the cost barrier, we anticipate a substantial increase in accessibility. But input tax credit concerns remain. Not everyone is fully upbeat though. One concern being raised is around the absence of input tax credit (ITC) for insurers. Insurers say they will be unable to claim input tax credit and thus offset GST paid on their operational expenses, including administrative and marketing spends. This will push up their overall costs, they argue. ITC allows businesses to claim credit for GST paid on goods and services used in their operations. Insurance firms typically pay GST on various overheads such as office rent, commissions, IT systems, claims processing, and medical network services. Broking firms say that the companies will have to raise their premiums to offset the loss of ITC. International Brokerage CLSA, for example, expects insurers to hike base premiums by 1 to 4%.